Welcome to Tousi TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya Tousi, and we'll come to you guys with some breaking news coming from Greater Manchester in the northwest of England. Over the last few minutes, we've got confirmation of a terror attack, an anti-Jewish terror attack at a synagogue on Yom Kippur. Unfortunately, multiple people have been stabbed. The suspect has been neutralized by the armed police. We're going to give you guys the live coverage. We are waiting for our live feed to begin. We also have some videos to show you. This is still a live ongoing development. The Prime Minister is now returning to the UK. Let's go through the initial details as we receive more info. So, unfortunately, 4 people at least have been stabbed by the attacker. We do have a photo of the suspect, which we're going to show you in a second, shortly. This, of course, happened earlier this morning at a synagogue as the Jewish community were celebrating Yom Kippur, and which is obviously the holiest days, one of the holiest days of the Jewish calendar. Now, the suspect himself has been shot and neutralized by the armed police that actually responded pretty quickly to this attack. Usually takes a little bit longer. In terms of the location of this was actually in Cromsall, which is to the north of Manchester itself. So it's kind of essentially part of Greater Manchester. Now we do have a reaction from the Mayor, Andy Burnham, which we're going to show you. Of course, as some of you already know, most of you probably know, Manchester, Greater Manchester, Northwest in general, has radically changed over the last few years, over the last couple of decades. As the political left would like to say, it's extremely diverse, and our culture has been enriched by diversity. But of course, that also means extreme division among communities, and we have a lot of terror cells in places like Manchester, a lot of sleeper cells, and a lot of radicalized weirdos, a lot of Islamists. Everybody who hates everybody else is basically based in Manchester. Of course, this sort of stuff will happen. Now, there's a lot of questions about increased security. And I believe Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, has now promised to increase security outside the Jewish synagogues. Just a reactionary politician. The Northwest Ambulance Service has also now declared a major incident in Greater Manchester. We have a video we're going to show you of the moment that the armed police, brought down the suspect following the mass stabbing that happened outside their synagogue. I believe the bomb squad, of course, is also now there because one of the eyewitnesses was shouting about a bomb, apparently. Let's quickly go to see what happens.
You killed him. Fucking hell, they just...
Everybody else, get back! If you're not involved, move back! Get away!
Might be a device.
He has a bomb! Go away!
He's got a bomb on him! He's got a bomb! Mate, he's got a... He's got a bomb on his fucking jacket, mate. He's trying to go into school.
That's one of the victims on the ground, as you can see.
No, he's got a bomb. Get the fuck out of here.
There's an elderly Jewish man who's on the ground.
Mate, I'm just jumping out of this in a minute. He's going to blow himself up. He's trying to press the button. Like, fucking shoot him!
Yeah, they brought him down. He's gone.
He's got bombs on him. He's got fucking bombs attached to him. Fucking hell. Get the fuck out of here while he's got bombs. Mate, he's dead on the floor.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
This is the thing. The official response, the official statement from the authorities.
Wow.
It still, until now, they still say 4 people injured. Now, with all due respect, of course, they're going to take their time to go through the process. The sort of stuff I've been seeing and the images, I'm not really sure if we only have injuries. I hope everyone is still alive, but I don't believe. I have a bad feeling in terms of the casualties. Of course, the official statement is 4 people injured. So for now, we're going to go with that. As I said, we are now waiting for our live camera from underground in Manchester, which will resume in the next couple of minutes, in the next few minutes. So we'll just stay with us while we get the camera sorted, the live feed from Manchester. Andy Burnham, the mayor of Greater Manchester, has responded, saying, "We are responding to an incident outside a synagogue on Middleton Road in Manchester. Police were called to the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue on Middleton Road, Cromsall, at 9:31 a.m. by a member of the public, stating he had witnessed a car being driven towards members of the public and one man had been stabbed." This was the guy outside. Firearms officers were deployed at 9:34 a.m. as police continued to receive further reports from members of the public that a security guard had been attacked with a knife. Greater Manchester Police declared Plato and a major incident at 9:37 a.m. Shots were fired by Greater Manchester Police firearms officers at 9:38 a.m. One man has been shot, believed to be the offender. Paramedics arrived at the scene at 9:41 a.m. and are tending to members of the public. Currently, 4 members of the public with injuries caused by both the vehicle and stab wounds. Members of the public are asked to avoid the area while the police continue to deal with the incident. So, this is the official statement. I mean, the first things first, in terms of the response time by the emergency services, that was extremely fast. The phone call was 9:31 a.m. Firearms officers arrived within 3 minutes. They declared the major incident again within about 4 minutes, 3 minutes after that. And 1 minute after that, shots were fired. And then 3 minutes after that, paramedics also arrived. So overall, the response time by the emergency services was extremely fast. Trying to see... We have a thing where we could go to a quick interview that Andy Burnham has just done with on the radio. Before we do that, I think there's some response from the Prime Minister as well again. But let me just quickly go through the North West Ambulance Service that have now said, following reports of an incident on Middleton Road, Cromsall, the Trust has dispatched the resources to the scene, saying, "We are currently addressing the situation and working with other members of the emergency services. Our priority is to ensure the people receive medical help that they need as quickly as possible." Now we can show you the next footage that we've now received from underground. So they've closed the area.
Just been an incident.
Right. Now, as we said, the bomb disposal lorry has now arrived at the scene. As I said, we're just waiting for the live feed from underground in Manchester. A white lorry marked bomb disposal is now at the scene. The vehicle has gone beyond the cordon, and obviously the area that's been closed, and is currently outside the synagogue where the suspect was taken down. Andy Burnham just did an interview on the radio. Let's just quickly listen to what he had to say.
Yes, of course, and I can give what I've been given by Greater Manchester Police, and of course it's it's obviously a developing situation. So if people understand that at this point, but what I've been told is that police were called to the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue on Middleton Road, Cromsall, at 9:31 by a member of the public, stating he had witnessed a car being driven towards members of the public, and one man had been stabbed. Firearms officers were deployed at 9:34 a.m. as police continued to receive further reports from members of the public that a security guard had been attacked with a knife. GMP declared Plato, and a major incident at 9:37. Shots were fired by Greater Manchester Police firearms officers at 9:38. One man has been shot, and that's believed to be the offender. Paramedics are on the scene, arriving at 9:41 and tending to members of the public. Currently, 4 members of the public with injuries caused by both the vehicle and stab wounds. And obviously, Mike, to say members of the public are obviously asked to avoid the area as police continue to deal with the incident, because I think it is still, there are issues that are still being dealt with at the scene. But there is a degree of reassurance that can be given here that it has been dealt with. It sounds as though very effectively, quickly, by Greater Manchester Police. So it would appear that the immediate danger has been averted, although it's obviously a developing situation.
So an ongoing situation. Do you know of any of the with regards to the shooting by police? Was that fatal, or do we think that there's?
It is believed that the offender is deceased, although it's not confirmed. Deceased. So that's what I meant in saying that a degree of reassurance can be given that it's not a developing and ongoing incident. Yeah. It would appear that it is contained, although obviously the scene is very much an active scene. Yeah,
we have got one of our reporters, Paul.
1973, Yom Kippur. We had the Arab states invading Israel. In 2023, Yom Kippur, of course, around the same period of time, Hamas and Gaza invaded Israel. And today, this year, more attacks. Now, there's a statement that we have actually now received from the Muslim Council of Britain, saying that the Muslim Council of Britain is deeply concerned by reports of a violent attack at a synagogue in Manchester today. We unequivocally condemn this act of violence. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims, their families, and the Jewish community at this difficult time that this incident has taken place on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, makes it all more distressing. I guess if these guys would not go around the streets every day chanting "Globalized Intifada," this probably wouldn't happen. But if you're calling for some sort of a holy war against the Jews, then don't be surprised if this happens. Now, releasing these sort of statements isn't really going to do much. But speaking of statements and idiots, let's go to the new Home Secretary of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Shabana Mahmood, who has now said, "I am horrified by the news of an attack at a synagogue in Manchester today on the holiest day in the Jewish calendar." Just copy and pasting it. "My first thoughts are with the victims, our brave police and emergency services. I am being kept updated by Greater Manchester Police. I urge people to follow the advice of the emergency services." So that's Shabana Mahmood, our Home Secretary. Now, I believe Keir Starmer has released a quick statement as well. "I'm appalled by the attack at a synagogue in Cromsall. The fact that this has taken place on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, makes it all more horrific. My thoughts are with the loved ones of all those affected, and my thanks go to the emergency services and all the first responders." Now, Keir Starmer was actually in Copenhagen in Denmark for a meeting with the EU leaders, and he has decided to return to the UK. So he's now coming back. He's flying back now. And I think over the last few minutes, he's just done a quick interview with the media. We have an image of the alleged attacker that I can actually show you. Then I'm going to go to Keir Starmer. So this is supposed to be the suspect, the man with a beard, long beard, and of course no hair on his head, as you can see. And yes, he believes to be wearing some sort of, I think that's some sort of device in front of him. And I don't know if he was ready to deploy that. That's what the armed police also believe. Now we have the bomb squad, of course, from Greater Manchester Police, who are now on the ground trying to deal with that, as they believe that device could go off any moment. So if it is explosive, then of course the situation is still ongoing, despite the suspect himself being eliminated by the police. Now let's quickly go to Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, as he was just getting on the plane to come back to Britain.
The attack in Manchester this morning is absolutely shocking.
That's Crawley.
And all of our thoughts are with those
He's
affected.
back.
I'm on my way back to London. When I arrive,
Copenhagen.
I will chair an
Yeah,
emergency
there we go.
Cobra
Not Crawley.
meeting. I'm already able to say that additional police assets are being deployed to synagogues across the country, and we will do
Now.
everything to keep our Jewish community safe. I've spoken to Mark Gardner of the CST and Andy Burnham, Mayor of Manchester, and I want to thank the emergency services for the speed of their response.
Okay, so that's Keir Starmer speaking from Copenhagen. He's now coming back to Britain. This is the latest image that we received from the armed police. As we said, we still have the bomb disposal team trying to deal with that situation, and additional police has now been deployed officially around the United Kingdom, including London and other major cities, to help. Again, this is it's just reactionary, because you would have assumed that after everything that's happened, then you have a bunch of people going around chanting "Globalize Intifada" against the Jews, and we know what that means, obviously. Then at least when it's Yom Kippur or these sort of days, then you would increase security, right? You would think. But of course, that's not the situation in Britain. They just have to wait for something to happen, and then they respond in a reactionary manner. Now, while I wait for the live camera from Manchester, I don't know what's going on there. Let me just double check to see. I'm going to get some reaction while we wait for that. What is happening here? Okay. Yeah, that should be fixed soon. Fine. Insanity. Right, so let's see what's going on here. This is still an ongoing situation, because, as I said, the bomb disposal team are still dealing with the device, the alleged device. And what's this? Sent you email of 1 minute video. We've already shown that. The video is already, we reported that on this channel. That's the whole point of this live stream. We report the news. Tony, thank you very much for your super chat. And Deborah says, shocking. Of course, the sad reality is that it's not really a surprise anymore in places like the UK. Paul says Starmer, but his usual BS, which he and his Islamist-loving government caused. Do you recognize terrorists? Do you get this? How long before they blame Putin? They're not going to blame Putin on this. But why would they blame Putin? It's not going to work. Paul R says that everything is shocking to Starmer. Shocking is when someone swears a lot. Murdering people for their ethnicity is despicable and depraved. Yeah, it's not necessarily just shocking. Going around killing Jews just because of their ethnicity, it's not really it's not supposed to be, oh, I am shocked. Your country is in a mess, Starmer. So weird. Now, we are waiting for, so it's a couple of things that we're now waiting for. One is the identity and more information about the suspect. The other thing is the update from the bomb disposal team, who are dealing with the device, to get the confirmation that it's been diffused or whatever's going on. And also the live feed from Manchester itself. So just stay with us. If you joined us late, this is the video of the moment that the attacker was neutralized by the armed police, as we got a victim on the ground, of course, who's been injured. They say he's injured. I don't think he's just injured.
You've killed him.
No,
So that's just outside the synagogue itself.
Fucking hell, they just...
Everybody else, get back! If you're not involved, move back!
The police saw.
Somebody stay with casualties! Everybody else, he has a bomb! Go away!
He's got a bomb
Get
on
back!
him! He's got a
Move
bomb!
on!
Mate, he's got a... Man, he's got a bomb on his fucking jacket, mate. He's trying to go into school. Mate, he stabbed him.
That's the
No,
elderly
he's got
Jewish
a bomb.
guy.
Get the fuck out of here. Mate,
Stop
if he's
swearing.
dead,
What is it with
mate,
people?
I'm just jumping out of this in a minute. He's going to blow himself up. He's trying to press the button.
Yeah, but he's taken down.
Right,
They're going to shoot him
fucking
now.
shoot him! Fucking hell.
There you go, he's gone.
He's got bombs on him. He's got fucking bombs attached to him.
Yeah.
Fucking
Swearing
hell.
over.
Get the fuck out of here while he's got bombs. Mate, he's dead on the floor. What the fuck?
Alright.
Wow.
Anyway, we have some more images coming from the synagogue, which I'm going to show you in a second. These are the people, this is the survivors who have now been helped by the emergency services to go to safety. So these are the images we are now getting. Of course, everyone is horrified by what has happened. Sad reality of living in modern Britain. Of course, we have got this image of an elderly Jewish lady who's just come out of the synagogue. She thought she was going to go in there. It's Yom Kippur, everything's going to be fine, but of course not. Yeah. Let's go back to some of the responses. We have the Middle East minister has now urged the public to follow advice, saying he has visited the synagogue before and was proud to do so. He added that he is horrified to hear about the incident there. It's a terrorist attack, but yeah, okay. My thoughts are with everyone affected, he says, and please follow the advice of the emergency services. Completely pointless. Now, okay, so we now have confirmation, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, one of the victims has now been confirmed dead. So one victim killed in the attack at the synagogue in Cromsall in Manchester, Greater Manchester. So the number of casualties, of course, well, the status of them will be changing shortly. Unfortunately, one has now been confirmed dead in the terror attack. It's insane. Let's just quickly get some more reaction. We have, I think, the Shadow Justice Secretary, Robert Jenrick, who has released a quick statement as well. Because his counterpart is David Lammy. Robert Jenrick says, sickening news about the attack at the synagogue in Manchester. I'm praying that those who have been injured can make a full recovery. Of course, he posted this 3 minutes ago, just before the confirmation of the victim who's killed. The police appear to have done an incredible job in stopping the attackers so swiftly. That's true. This will be a terribly painful moment for the Jewish community, even more so because it is the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. They must know that the whole country stands with them. Of course, Robert Jenrick's wife is Jewish as well, so for him is also a personal matter. And just trying to get some more updates. It's fascinating because today, I don't know if it's going to go ahead now. Today there was going to be a mass protest, Islamist protest against the Jews and the state of Israel in London and in other places in opposition to Greta Thunberg getting arrested last night by the Israeli Navy. I'm not really sure if that's going to happen now. Okay, so we now have another update from another victim, unfortunately. So one has been confirmed, obviously dead. Another one is now in critical condition. We don't know about the others. We'll wait for that. But yeah, as I said, there was supposed to be a massive Islamist protest in the UK. There were huge protests across Europe last night, instantly after the flotilla was intercepted by the Israelis. Today there was going to be a big one organized here, but I don't think that's going to happen. If it happens, it's I don't know what they're going to be thinking about. Let's have a look at a reaction from the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, who has now said, I am horrified by the attack at a synagogue in Manchester today, particularly on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. My thoughts and prayers are with the families of those affected and the Jewish community who will be suffering at this time, and my thanks go to the emergency services. Everybody's saying the same thing, basically. So I think it's a lot easier for them to just repeat the same thing rather than... I think if they say something in anger, especially the political right, it's going to be used against them. So if they really wanted to say what they really think, it's going to be... they're going to get into trouble, I think. So that's why everyone's so generic. You got Tony from Australia saying, thank you for your super chat. Sorry, I am sick with hate for these monsters. Enough is so far more than enough. We must overrule our pathetic, weak, spineless leaders. We must take our countries back. I'm in Australia and my love goes out to the UK. Yeah. And Anthony says this is Starmer's fault. Well, there hasn't been any extra measures for anything, really. They haven't really done anything in terms of any measure to prevent future attacks. You know, there are so many things one can do in terms of finding out more about the radicalized individuals around the country. We've got tens of thousands of people who are at least radicalized and extremist. We have many people on the watch list. We have people who shouldn't be in this country. If you start rounding them up like President Trump and start deporting them, then you won't have this situation. But of course, that requires a political will. That also requires extra resources that Keir Starmer doesn't really want to use right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news. Unfortunately, the second victim has now been confirmed dead. So 2 of those who were attacked have now been killed. The treatment, I believe this is probably the one that they said a couple of minutes ago was in critical condition. I mean, the poor man that we saw on the ground earlier outside the synagogue, it didn't look like he was going to make it. But at the time, for about an hour, they kept saying injured, only injured. But obviously, that's not the case. So let me just quickly take you back to the situation outside the synagogue while I get more information. 1 second.
Just been an incident,
Right. So 2. Sad day again. Thank you again. Another super chat from Australia. And we'll get some non-super chats as well. Just have a look at... We have a reaction from Priti Patel. Let me just quickly bring you guys Priti, and then we're just waiting for some more updates on the conditions of the others as well. All right. Former Home Secretary Priti Patel says the attack at Heaton Park Synagogue in Manchester is deeply concerning as families gathered for Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish faith. And my thoughts are with all those affected and injured, And with the emergency services who are at the scene and responding, we must show our support for the Jewish community at this time. Now, if you missed the beginning of our live report, we do have an image of the alleged suspect. So that's the man, the attacker, allegedly, with a long beard, no hair on his head, and appears to be wearing some sort of device in front of him. That's obviously according to the armed police who have deployed the bomb disposal team to deal with this situation. And there is also a trying to get the, this is the map of the area, Heaton Park. So Cromsall, which is to the north of Greater Manchester. This is the thing about areas and cities like Manchester, like London, everywhere really, Birmingham. It's no longer just the inner cities in the middle that's been diversified essentially, and with the cultural enrichment. It's actually everywhere, even the suburbs, even just outside in the countryside. Every town, every village, every street, every neighborhood is now completely, you don't see the old Manchester that you used to see. And because of that, of course, when you have extreme divided, diverse communities, by definition, of course, diversity means more division instead of unity. You're going to have various people, especially in more Islamic areas like in Greater Manchester. You're going to have a lot of people who are not going to be too happy about Jewish people having a synagogue and going there on Yom Kippur. It was always going to happen. That's the reality. Anti-Semitic attacks. Why is anybody surprised? You haven't done anything to prevent this. The authorities, well, the political side, the political establishment, you didn't do anything to prevent these sort of things. It's still going to happen. The authorities haven't deployed any resources, at least on Yom Kippur. They were warned about this. All the synagogues in London, in Manchester, everywhere else, they were warned for weeks, for months. We probably need some resources, just a couple of police officers just outside. It would be nice. And now that people have been killed, now we are hearing from absolute evil idiots, including the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, who now says that I have ordered the police to deploy extra resources to synagogues across London today, after this, just to be seen to be doing something. That's why they do this. That's the only reason. I think we are getting some updates. Hang on. Vile situation. I think this is the video that this is actually from our friends at Visegrad. We have an image of the car, because obviously the actual attack started with the man with the beard. He rammed the car into the synagogue, well, outside of the gate. So this is the image. This is the car that he used. You can just about see the front of the car. It's been dented, obviously, so because obviously he rammed it. And then he got out of the car and started targeting innocent civilians and the Jewish community. And then allegedly he also has or had some sort of device on him that made, of course, the armed police believe that this could be an explosive device. There is more confirmations coming in the next few minutes, actually. They're just telling us to wait. Hopefully it's not going to be more bad news. Speaking of Sadiq Khan, he's been told by the police, by his advisors, that he also has to release his statement. Otherwise, it's not a good look for the London mayor. So we can actually quickly see if he's also copy and pasted the same sentences as the others. Yeah, he has. I'm horrified by the violent attack at the synagogue in Manchester. I have been in contact with the Mayor of Greater Manchester and the Home Secretary and would like to reassure Londoners that the Met Police are stepping up patrols in Jewish communities and synagogues across London. My thoughts are with all those affected on the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, Yom Kippur. London stands ready to help in any way we can. Really? You can't even run your own city, Sadiq. Now, let's quickly get some more reactions here. Christy, thank you very much for your super chat, saying maybe a digital ID would have stopped this. Pardon my sarcasm at this time. I'm infuriated with you all and heartbroken. Yeah. You don't need to apologize, because this is the reality. They're going to come up with even more measures as an excuse to use this, to not actually address the crisis that we have, to just affect everybody else. All right, so I think the other party leaders have also responded. Kemi Badenoch says, this was a vile and disgusting attack on a synagogue in Manchester on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish year. Families gathered in prayer were targets for violence. My heart goes out to all those hurt and affected. I know many in our Jewish community will feel shaken. They deserve to know that they are not alone. Davey says, horrified and appalled by the attack outside Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue on Yom Kippur. Same thing. Okay, they all just repeat the same thing. Now, as we said, the major incident has been declared. Okay. Hopefully we're not going to get any more updates of people being confirmed killed. 2 members of the public so far. Others injured. Latest images that we have now received from just outside the synagogue. Absolutely disgusting situation. Again, or once again. It's not really a surprise that over the last couple of years we've been hearing about a lot of British Jews who are or have left the country already to go to other places. The problem with the Jews is that they are told that they shouldn't be in any country, in Europe, for example, but they're also told you're not allowed to have your own country to be safe. They got nowhere to go. If they're not allowed to have Israel, which is their country, their land, and they're not allowed to be in Europe or North America or South America or Africa or wherever, you know what the question is. What are you going to do with them, right? It always ends up around the same circle. Same thing, every single time. Anti-Semitic attacks. Has anyone seen Ben Gvir this morning? No, get him out of prison. No, what? No, get out of prison for him. No, get out of prison. Well, we don't know who he is first in terms of the identity, in terms of the background and everything else. But again, my policy would be expulsion. You need to bring back expulsion. You need to be expelled from the country, even if you're born here, even if you're ginger. I don't really care. We can't really just have the taxpayer keep funding people to be in prison for a few years and then be released again. It's nonsense. Why do people stutter? They are bad. Not really sure. Got a lot of random people who seem to be drunk already in the afternoon on Thursday. Let's just quickly go back to the moment of the attack. I'm just waiting for some more updates. We have a reaction from Tommy Robinson as well. Let's go to that moment.
You've killed him. Fucking hell, they just...
Everybody else, get back! If you're not involved, move back! Get away! Somebody stay with casualties! Everybody else, he has a bomb! Go away!
He's got a bomb on him! He's got a bomb! Mate, he's got a... Man, he's got a bomb on his fucking jacket, mate. He's trying to go in a school. Mate, he stabbed him.
So that's one of them who's now dead.
No, he's got a bomb. Get the fuck out of here.
Now, this is the latest image we've received from the bomb disposal team, who are currently on the ground. And of course, more armed police officers who have secured the area. Okay, we now have another breaking news. Unfortunately, the number of casualties has now increased, as well as the 2 victims who are now confirmed dead. 3 others are now in serious condition. 3 others. Okay. Let's just quickly go to Tommy Robinson. He's just done a post about this as well. Yeah. Tommy says, make no bone about it, the suspected Islamic terror attack on peaceful Jewish at their place of worship in Manchester is the consequence of Keir Starmer's regime allowing hate marchers to take to our streets following the October 7th massacre. After all that vile hatred, Starmer publicly gave in to them. Blood on your hands. I think we've also just received a statement from the palace, which we can go to. Okay, the Israeli embassy in London have also said something, but let's just quickly go to the palace. Right, a quick statement from the King on what happened this morning. He says, my wife and I have been deeply shocked and saddened to learn of the horrific attack in Manchester, especially on such a significant day for the Jewish community. Our thoughts and prayers are with all those affected by this appalling incident, and we greatly appreciate the swift actions of the emergency services. So that's the King. And we also now have this statement from the Israeli embassy in London, saying the Embassy of Israel in the United Kingdom condemns the attack carried out today on Yom Kippur at the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue in Manchester. That such an act of violence should be perpetrated on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar in a place of prayer and community is abhorrent and deeply distressing. The embassy is in close contact with the Manchester Jewish community, British authorities, and the Community Security Trust, or the CST, to monitor developments and ensure that the necessary support is provided. We thank the Greater Manchester Police for their swift response. The safety and security of Jewish communities in the United Kingdom must be guaranteed. The thoughts and prayers of the people of Israel or with the victims, their families, and the entire Jewish community at this difficult time. So that's the Israeli embassy in London. Just checking something quickly. So they have now added more police. So a significant police presence has now been added to the existing security in Cromsall in the north of Greater Manchester. Various police vehicles with sirens are now being added to the closed off area, and the bomb disposal unit are still working with the alleged device. So the situation is still not over. Despite obviously Andy Burnham, the mayor of Manchester, saying that there is no more threats, there's no imminent threat to the people on the ground. Yeah, but the attacker has been neutralized, but the reality is you still have allegedly this bomb that's still being dealt with. Let's just quickly go back to you guys. I'm trying to see what's going on with the live feed. What is happening? This isn't helping. Sorry, give me a second, guys. For the love of God. Okay, so right, let's just quickly go back to you guys. I'm just trying to communicate to find out what's going on with the live camera. Sorry, guys. Robert says Starmer just called for violence in a speech, and look what happens. This is his fault, as he imports illegals continuously whilst threatening people who voice concerns. Time to arrest some far-right comments in response. Yeah, Keir Starmer, as the Prime Minister, literally said about 3 days ago, that those who voice concerns and essentially criticize Islam or things like this, that you are the enemy of Keir Starmer, and he will be coming for you. He called everybody racist, and a lot of the people who he calls racist, who are concerned about Islamism, who are concerned about anti-Semitism in general, they are Jews. They are British right-wing Jews, and Keir Starmer sees them as an enemy. If they say the British public must be protected, if they say that the Union flag must be respected, if they say that foreign criminals and illegal migrants should be deported, Keir Starmer said you are the enemy. Now, he can't blame anybody else. More super chats. What you think the UK they will do when M5 and their entire justice is controlled by someone who is Muslim? Who is that? Is that King Charles? Prayer from Sweden, Stan. No Islam north of Mediterranean. Thanks, guys, from Sweden. All Starmer's fault, in my opinion. It's also just a successive establishment's fault. For years and years and years, they've been avoiding their tough decisions to actually keep the streets safe. Now, more anti-Semitic attacks will happen. Despite the government's empty platitudes, we know we are alone, and where their loyalties lie. Yeah, that's the reality. Doesn't matter what they say. RG from Israel says, my friends, once they start ending the Christians after the Jews, you are more than welcome to come to Israel and live rather peacefully. We don't have a lot of space, but we are very welcome. To be fair, there's still a lot of land that hasn't been built on. So There's a lot of highways in Israel they can still build on. But yeah, still overall it's a small land. Anyway, so Susan also says, just waking up in Texas. Sad to see this horrible mess. God be with us. God bless you, Tousi. Thank you, Susan. Kendra says, to get there so quick on a watch list, perchance. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Wasn't it a mosque in Manchester advertising for a Sharia advisor? All mosques advertise that, but yes, there was one in Manchester recently that was doing that. Also local councils, so it's not really mosques obviously have Sharia advisors. It's not mosques advertising, it's also the local authorities that are doing it. That's the scandal. New member here. I feel it's going to get a lot worse before the Great in Britain returns. Well, we can only hope the Great in Britain returns, but we don't know yet. Well, the Sheikhs had a crusade. Is it time again? Well, we definitely need a Christian revival in the West to protect the values, but you move away from biblical values and you allow a vacuum to be created, of course, the satanic side are going to take over. We have another image from the bomb disposal unit who are there. Can we put it on? Yeah, let's go. So the army bomb disposal are there now to deal with this. So it seems to be, as far as what we can see, this is a threat because they're still dealing with it. Because a lot of times, suspicious packages get discovered somewhere, and they close off the area. Shortly, a few minutes later, the police would say it was a hoax, or don't worry, it's nothing. But this one has still been going on for over an hour, the bomb disposal unit. So clearly must mean that this could be a credible threat. The device that the attacker was wearing might be active. I mean, hopefully not. But they are still dealing with that situation. Okay. All right, we're just getting some updates about our live feed. Hopefully we'll get that sorted in the next couple of minutes. Okay, so I think we're just getting a quick update. While we do that, I'm just going to quickly take you back to the Mayor of Greater Manchester, and then we'll come back quickly. Just stay with me.
Yes, of course, and I can give what I've been given by.
This is about an hour ago.
And of course, it's it's obviously a developing situation. So if people understand that at this point, but what I've been told is that police were called to the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue on Middleton Road, Crumpsall, at 9:31 by a member of the public, stating he had witnessed a car being driven towards members of the public, and one man had been stabbed. Firearms officers were deployed at 9:34 a.m. as police continued to receive further reports from members of the public that a security guard had been attacked with a knife. GMP declared Plato and a major incident at 9:37. Shots were fired by Greater Manchester Police firearms officers at 9:38. One man has been shot, and that's believed to be the offender. Paramedics are on the scene, arriving at 9:41 and tending to members of the public. Currently 4 members of the public with injuries caused by both the vehicle and stab wounds. And obviously, Mike, to say members of the public are obviously asked to avoid the area as police continue to deal with the incident, because I think it is still, there are issues that are still being dealt with at the scene. But there is a degree of reassurance that can be given here that it has been dealt with. It sounds as though very effectively, quickly, by Greater Manchester Police. So it would appear that the immediate danger has been averted, although it's obviously a developing situation.
So an ongoing situation. Do you know of any of the with regards to the shooting by police? Was that fatal, or do we think that there's?
It is believed that the the offender is deceased, although it's not confirmed. So that's what I meant in saying that a degree of reassurance can be given that it's not a developing and ongoing incident. It would appear that it is contained, although obviously the scene is very much an active
progress.
scene. Yeah.
We have got one of our reporters, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so I think, we're hopefully in the next 5 minutes, we should be getting the live footage from Manchester. I've been given a guarantee, so let's hope. If you joined us now, the latest update is that unfortunately 2 of the victims have now been confirmed dead. Of course, the suspect himself was shot down by the armed police. We're still waiting for the bomb disposal team to give us an update on the situation on the ground. The area is still closed down. Let me get some reaction. Donny says, keep your crap out of our countries. Yep. Someone says, or Shadow Grandad says, who's the enemy now, Starmer? Gary Kennedy says, I effing hope that the Jewish people can now get some proper protection. Starmer is responsible for this. End of chat. Nasty, horrible. Yeah. That says, how long does it take for those woke cops, the police, to get all dressed up before getting on scene? So the police in this case responded within 3 minutes. So the police were extremely quick this time, armed police, and within about 7 minutes, 4-7 minutes, everything was stopped. So big shout out to the Greater Manchester Police, the armed police unit as well, who dealt with this very quickly, and also within 7 minutes, the paramedics arrived on the scene. Unfortunately, it was slightly too late for a couple of the victims, but usually in this country you have to wait for like half an hour for something to actually arrive. But in this case, luckily, the response time was extremely swift. What? Lottie says, respect for Starmer, please. What you do in love remains. Well, people are getting killed, so I'm not really sure if people have time for respect. Winners and Losers says that when we've got the Prime Minister and backward Lammy speak with that language and that aggression, what the F did they think was going to happen? And they said that literally days after what happened to Charlie Kirk, and they thought that was okay, that sort of language. Oh my God. Right now. Are we ready soon? It's getting ready now, guys. Slowly.
Just been an incident,
Right, let's go back to you guys. Someone says that you honestly think Starmer cares? OMG, he has no heart for anyone. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, who said Starmer cares? Did someone say in the live chat? Starmer doesn't care. Obviously, no. Ferret says its response time suspiciously quick. Did they know something beforehand? No, they were just nearby because they are based in the north of Greater Manchester. And it happened to be in the morning, so I guess it was relatively quiet and no other crime was happening, I guess. So that's the only reason. If it was in the inner city, it would take longer because of the roads and the traffic and how big it is. But outside, there's a base outside in the north, so it's usually quicker. It's happened before, even with other incidents that is not like a terror attack. If it's just outside the inner cities, the response time is usually faster. Someone says, I'm in tears here. I'm just waiting. The biggest update that we're now waiting for, which will still keep going, is some information about the bomb squad who are still there. And also, hopefully some good news about the victims, because we now know, apart from the 2 that have been confirmed dead, 3 others are now critically injured or in their serious condition. So all right, we have another video that's just come out from the new region. Let's just quickly go to that, see what's happening on the ground. So that's the armed police. So yeah, we have a video from a different angle as well. It's just arrived, this one. Another eyewitness filmed this. All right, let's go to this video that we've just received.
Everybody else, get back! If you're not involved, move back! Get away! Somebody stay with you! Everybody else, he has a phone!
Yeah.
Go away!
He's got a bomb on him.
They're telling people to move and they're still standing right by the gates, by the...
Man, he's got a bomb on his fucking jacket, mate. He's trying to go in and scoop.
That's
No,
the...
he's got a bomb. Get the
it's
fuck out of
reverse,
here.
it's mirrored. Yeah. It's just, it's mirrored, the image. So that's...
Wow.
Yeah, that's one of them who didn't survive. That guy, unfortunately. Okay, so we have some more reaction. Danny says from Australia, what do you expect when you import people from totally alien cultures? Again, we will confirm the identity of the attacker soon. There will be a press conference. First, thanks. And it says, well, we do know at least that the person was anti-Semitic. That's one thing that's guaranteed. We don't know what country, what background yet. Irina, Charlie Kirk, and now innocent Jews celebrating one of their holiest days. When is the West going to finally wake up and realize that the West is under threat by monsters? Daily threats, yeah. Kashkoi says, in response to today's attack, the UK government will bring another 100,000 immigrants and will ban V for Vendetta movie. Basically. Someone said Bashar al-Assad is in hospital, attempted assassination. Is it? Where's my tiny violin? I'll check that later. Thank you for the update, for the intel. What do we have here? Just sending you a very big thank you for showing us the real news. Thank you from an Israeli in Israel. Thank you so much for watching and the support as well. We have about 16,000 people currently watching us live. And okay, we might be getting some more sad news. We're just getting that confirmed. Why is everything falling apart here? There seems to be a problem with the connection in Manchester for absolutely no reason. We've been struggling to get our live feed on the ground going for about an hour. It's not our internet. It's not our fault. Something is wrong. I'm not really sure what's going on. And they're not telling us anything. Really? Okay. Yeah, so I think the police have now confirmed this. Let me just put this on again. This man, we might be getting some updates on his identity as well, by the way. But this photo that I showed you earlier, this guy, yeah, he seems he's now been confirmed as the suspect, and don't know his name yet. Considering that 3 people are now in critical condition, I wouldn't be surprised, unfortunately, if we do hear the number of killed victims go up. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do, we're going to sort out this live feed nonsense, and we are now waiting for the news conference, the press conference, to be announced. We will come back shortly in the next few minutes to give you guys all the updates. In the meantime, we're going to take this to the members of the channel for our debrief. Obviously, if you want to come and talk to me directly on a video call, we can do that by becoming a member of Tousi TV Plus. Just scan the QR code or go on Tousi.tv, go to the chat forum. We have a private Discord server. And if you just click on the post live chat underneath voice channels, if you do it on your mobile device, it looks like this basically. Under the voice channel, it's called voice live chat. Yeah, so just go on Tousi.tv, become a member, and I will see you guys on the other side. And then we'll come back a few minutes later with more live updates on Tousi TV. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tousi, and we are the media.